What is going on there, citizens of the Reject Nation? We are going to watch today from new Rockstars Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever trailer, Easter eggs, and breakdown. John, how's it going?
Good. I'm looking forward to this. How are you?
I'm doing good. Leave a like. Leave a damn like. Leave that like button. Let's get to it.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of everything you missed in the new trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Both this trailer and the Comic-Con trailer in July were edited by the super talented Andrew Hegley to some amazing music, and Hegley was actually kind enough to shout me out on Twitter, so I'm gonna do my best to take his challenge and analyze this trailer frame by frame for the hidden layers of meaning, everything we hear, everything we see, everything everyone's wearing, a couple sightings of additional Black Panther suits, some clues hidden in the editing that, I'm sorry Andrew, it's not your fault, but I did find them. I don't know how, but I found them. Let's take a cue from Riri Williams and let's go! The trailer opens on Shuri holding T'Challa's helmet during his funeral ceremonial march. All the Wakandans are wearing white, which, as we saw in the 2018 film, is their color of mourning. Ramonda holds Shuri's hand to comfort her, while Shuri for now remains hooded, the way her character in this trailer is masked.
Look, I don't want to kick this video off for getting political right away, but I'm going to. Those memes going around, Shuri in the Black Panther suit, that are saying, oh, now she wants to wear a mask. That's some hilarious stuff. I don't care what political party you belong to.
A+ internet.
It's universal. It's universal.
Her earrings look like tusks or horns, maybe claws or fangs of a giant panther. Probably not real bone taken from any living animal like the Wakandan rhinos, because Shuri would never. They're marching toward this garden region of Wakanda with a gate flanked by stone carvings of two people. On the left, that's Bashenga, founder of Wakanda, the first Black Panther. To the right is a female figure who might be his wife or his sister. Either way, a foreshadowing to the Black Panther legacy, moving on to a female figure close to the original Black Panther. And you'll notice how each of these figures have panthers at their feet, maybe representing Bast and Sekhmet. This would be the royal cemetery, the necropolis, maybe a representation of that green belt that T'Challa referenced in Civil War.
In my culture, death is not the end. It's more of a stepping off point. You reach out with both hands and bust.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Into the green belt where you can run forever.
Meanwhile, Namor paints a mural depicting Tlālōcān, the feathered serpent deity from Mayan mythology. The way the Black Panther is an avatar of the Wakandan panther deity of Bast, Namor seems to be an avatar of Tlālōcān. Ryan Coogler and his team are using real-world influences to create a fictional mythology, not to perfectly adapt any actual real-world mythology, but really the way Bast is inspired by the Egyptian feline deity of Bastet and Sekhmet.
Yeah, you know, that's something I'm noticing about both of these trailers, especially when it comes to something we don't shout out enough. We often shout out like production design. It's sort of a general broad term. I really want to credit like the makeup department on what they've been doing with this film, especially because the first one was bringing to life like African culture influences, and now you're bringing to life like Latin, Mayan culture influences, Spanish culture influences fused into this. So I think it's like really beautiful to behold in what they're doing.
In the same way that you in the first movie saw the Wakandan culture and everything that inspires it from the outside, I love that we're also now going to see the Atlantean culture that way, and you get just as much sort of awe and inspiration from the outside as you did before.
Taking these real-world things to create something new. A close-up of Shuri a little later shows that she has ceremonial white face paint dots on her cheeks, her nose, and her brow that almost exactly match the
similar to the mask
on the Black Panther mask revealed at the end of the trailer. Back in that cave, Namor is painting this mural in an aquatic cave that he must have access to. Now, as a mutant, he can live both underwater and on land. His skin is human-colored because he is half human, born to a human sea captain, though his ears are pointed. Helping him paint is this blue hand. I'm assuming this is the hand of the blue-skinned partner Namora. They're using paint and a palette made from a bisected shell, and Namora swirls
such a great detail
in a section in the shape of a heart. This section actually comes back in the cutout of vibranium that Riri hammers out.
Oh, neat.
Ironheart armor. Now, the music throughout this trailer is an amazing track called Never Forget by Sampa the Great, featuring Chef 87, Tio Nason, and Nwanje. Sampa the Great is a Zambian singer and rapper. This is a tribute to a genre called Zamrock. Check out yesterday's reaction for a breakdown of what that is. But the opening words of this song are, "Who took the fabric, made that shit classic." This is Sampa the Great's way of reclaiming fashion and culture as having roots in her homeland. But in this context, it reminds us that the Black Panther mask and armor were a vibranium weave physically woven and constructed by one person, and that person is Shuri. She is the one who took this fabric and made this shit classic. Shuri crosses her arms in the Wakandan salute right over left, and I love her hand tattoo, looking like interconnected vibranium atoms, reminding us of her engineering insights in Infinity War.
The structure is polymorphic.
Right, we had to attach each neuron non-sequentially.
Why didn't you just reprogram the synapses to work collectively?
Because we Didn't think of it?
I'm sure you did your best.
You know, there's something I got to point out that I find very fascinating with the development of Black Panther. You know, in a time, in a day and age where we're constantly hearing about virtue signaling, woke culture, people are always spewing and shouting all the time, right? There's something that seems like pretty accepting of Shuri taking up the Black Panther. I'm sure there's that crowd that really is not happy about it.
Sure.
I'm sure there is. I don't really hear too much of an outcry or an upheaval roar of why, because I think it just lines up. I imagine that even if Chadwick Boseman was still with us, that eventually at one point Shuri might actually don the Black Panther costume because with the comics. However, it just lines up with the way the movie is and who her character is, so it's pretty cool to see that.
People aren't
like,
choosing
all
to
the time.
ignore all that stuff just to get outraged because of the sake of getting outraged. Yeah.
Namor has this interesting line saying, only the most broken people can be great leaders. If you
Beautiful
think about
line.
it, this has got to be advice that he is giving either Shuri or Ramonda or Okoye or one of the women of Wakanda. Because if he was talking to one of his
Or
own
himself
people,
in the mirror.
he'd be speaking that mind language Doc Huerta said that he had to learn for this film. Huerta revealed that Namor isn't necessarily the villain of this movie, but rather more of an antagonist or an anti-hero. He told Empire Magazine, Latin Americans are always the bad guys in Hollywood movies, but now we're the heroes, or an anti-hero in this instance. And he told Entertainment Weekly, maybe the most important twist in the character is that he's not a selfish person. He's taking care of a community. He's not an individualist, he's part of a tribe. The shot from the first trailer returns
That's really
to
cool.
T'Challa's memorial
you
mural
get that
with
sense.
Wakandan lettering translating to, the Panther King forever lives in us and rests with the ancestors. A wide shot shows Namor descending to the throne of his kingdom, the kingdom called Tlālōcān. It's an Aztec afterlife for those who die from drowning or lightning or diseases associated with the rain deity. Now,
Another afterlife.
production calling it a Mayan realm, but it's not. It's an Aztec realm. But again, this is all a fictional mythology pulling from several real-world sources.
mishmash.
However, note that Tlālōcān isn't just an ocean realm. It's a realm accessed by any water-based source, which makes Namor and his people from Tlālōcān more dangerous wherever you are on land because they can get you from any body of water deep enough to drown in.
Oh, that's wild.
Film. Hannah Beachler is back for the sequel, and she said for these underwater shots, she took visual inspiration from Steven Spielberg's Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, as well as Jack Kirby imagery.
Oh,
You
how
can see
great.
both here with a giant shark jaw.
Yeah,
of course.
badass.
Yeah.
Descends in this beam of light, like the blinding light emitted by the spaceship in Close Encounters. If you look closely at that shark jawbone, it has been carved with Mayan figures, and its
Yeah.
teeth look like they are made from vibranium.
Oh, how neat. You know what I hope this movie gives us? Because I remember when Aquaman came out and there was all that imagery of like them riding sharks and then shark battles and stuff. I felt like we didn't get enough of that. So I think it'd be really cool if we did see some like underwater action of like them riding animals and them going. I mean, we've got like live action animals fighting each other in the Wakanda battlefield in the first one. Let's get some underwater animals going at it now too.
Yeah, let's make up for the canceled Trench movie with this movie.
Please.
Yeah.
Let's get some shark with vibranium teeth.
That's what we really need. And then we can have vibranium submarines and a whole vibranium just underwater
That's why
cataclysm.
Namor. That's why Namor wants
Namor.
them.
Tlālōcān has its own supply of vibranium, maybe a chunk that broke off from that original meteorite, and it's likely why this human expedition is trying to get to them. Namor's headpiece is a feathered serpent, matching the appearance of Kukulkan. Costumer Ruth E. Carter is also returning, and she said that she had to test these feathered outfits by submerging them in water, testing these pieces so that they would look like a ballet, like the
cool. Holy crap.
Channel. The editing of this trailer syncs with Namor lowering his staff so that it looks like it is he who is jabbing Okoye's spear in the clay of the Wakandan throne room, claiming it for himself, which is fitting because right when this spear hits, the trailer shifts to rapper Chef 187's break in the song. These lyrics translate to this. Lyrics referencing wearing the belt and the phrase, all kingdoms and kingdoms belong to us. Now, if we align Save the Great with the voice of Shuri in this trailer, Chef 87 would be the voice of the challenger Namor, cutting a promo, demanding the belt, defending his kingdom by demanding a second kingdom as also belonging to him.
It's the most deliberate.
This movie really seems like it's going to be doing that like beautiful sequel thing, that Last of Us 2 sequel thing. Because you had like Killmonger in the first one, where eventually you would learn of what his past really is, and then you would grow to sort of, you know, empathize for what this journey is that he's on. Whereas here, I feel like we're probably going to be cutting back and forth a little bit more, where you're going to see how much Namor's journey and whatever the life is that's going on with him and his people mirrors to a certain extent what's going on with the people in Wakanda before they perhaps might find some type of understanding and common ground by the end. There's some people complained about how Killmonger went just sort of like full baddie, but at the end of the finale, before he had that beautiful speech that he laments before he dies, I don't feel like it's going to go in that similar trajectory. It looks like this is going to be a real parallel of a story.
We see more shots of the land dwellers, ocean expedition, deep sea divers, and armed contracted soldiers. Never a good sign. These divers have a creepy shadow darting across frame in front of them. This ship is an Enviro Plus, a real-world vessel that assists in marine environmental services like oil spills. But these humans are likely threatening the people of Tlālōcān, who we see climbing aboard and raiding the ship. There's a woman who retreats to a helicopter on the pad, shooting at them. How dare this woman? But I believe this is actress Lake Bell, a prolific voice actor who voiced Natasha Romanoff in episodes of Vanessa Fisk in Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse, and Poison Ivy in HBO Max's Harley Quinn. She's a fairly big name, and this film might have something major planned for her. We see the retreat from the Golden City up to the Jabari Mountain Tribe, high land to get away from the flooding. But this shot's VFX have been sneakily edited since the July version of the trailer. Carry some heavy crates with them. What are these? Are they supplies of vibranium?
Goddamn Marvel.
Equipment that Shuri's still working on? It could contain the components of her new suit, because we know that a new version of the suit will be unveiled in the Snowy Mountain location. Surrounded by his tribesmen, Baku tells them about Namor, saying his people do not call him a general or king, they call him Tlālōcān, the feather serpent god. Killing him will risk eternal war. I love how animated Winston Duke is as a storyteller here. And one also wonders how M'Baku knows this information about Namor to brief the others. His words make it sound like Namor, as the avatar of a deity, bears some immortality or untouchable status, like killing him could unleash some war between the gods, like the fight we saw between Khonshu and Ammit and Moon Knight. But I don't know, I think it's more personal than that. I think M'Baku knew of a secret pact between T'Challa and Namor as fellow kings and avatars of deities, both of them pacifists, struggling to keep peace among the more aggressive factions of their kingdoms. For T'Challa, that was probably M'Baku, but for Namor, that would be Attuma. So M'Baku is now warning, if you kill Namor, you're actually opening his shark jawbone throne to an even more hostile successor. This could even be why Okoye didn't do anything about that undersea earthquake.
Oh, damn.
Jeez.
Oh, I love that. I love this whole secret pact idea. It just makes it that much more personal of a tale, and why we haven't seen Namor. Well, that just answers so much. I just got to credit that theory right there.
Oh, yeah.
Because that just answers so much of why it hasn't been dealt with, or why Okoye was like kind of dismissive over that in Endgame.
Yeah, like it adds so much mystique to be like, oh, they already have a pre-existing thing that the rest of us don't know about and are now going to have to intimately deal with.
It kind of strikes me that Namor might need help with something, and that they refuse to it, and that's why they start battling it out in some way, as opposed to their king's dead, let's go attack.
Yeah, and said, hey, maybe you should be sympathetic to our plight. Oh no.
We again see Namor's underwater berth, where you can already see the little wings on his feet, but then in his they're working overtime to flap him into the Golden City. And later shots show that he is floating over to the Wakandan throne room, where Ramonda and Riri Williams are staring him down as he flips up his spear to throw at them. This looks like a blow that's gonna be pretty hard for Ramonda to evade, unless Riri or Shuri might have equipped her with some vibranium nanotech that could very quickly emit from that necklace adornment. Yes, I think we all really need to see Angela Bassett in her own vibranium suit. She certainly earned one. We see more shots at the footage that was shown at D23. French soldiers raiding a Wakandan outreach center in Mali, trying to plunder its vibranium, but scientists reveal themselves as covert members of the Dora Milaje, including Michaela Cole as Aneka, who in the comics is a former Dora Milaje who leaves and forms a new team called the Midnight Angels, who in one storyline try to kill Dr. Doom for stealing Wakandan vibranium.
Or oh my god, dude, it's what? Yes! That just lends more weight to the theory that Dr. Doom is the one orchestrating this in some way, or somehow maneuvering some strings around that would make it happen. Oh, come on. That's like really.
I mean, what a reveal that could be easily. We've been out here fighting a different threat all along.
She and other Dora Milaje slice the guns, using their spears to deflect bullets and take down these soldiers. The D23 footage actually ends with the Dora Milaje marching these soldiers into the UN to shame the French delegate, who Ramonda is verbally sparring with. Namor and the other people from Tlālōcān swim. One in the background rides an orca. Impressive. I could never even stay on the inflatable pool raft orcas. Namor confronts Ramonda on a tropical beach, which might be the same beach that we saw Nakia on with that Mayan pyramid, meaning this might be turf belonging to Tlālōcān. Okoye stabs her spear through her car, one marked with Illinois plates. So this must be part of her recruitment or extraction of Riri Williams, who begins her story in Chicago. A quick shot shows Okoye's car, someone on a motorcycle, and Riri soaring above them both with her Ironheart armor. I assume this is her Mark I armor. More shots of Wakanda flooding, an attack from Tlālōcān, inspired by the Avengers vs. X-Men comic, when Namor, possessed by the Phoenix Force, actually floods Wakanda. Ryan Coogler told Entertainment Weekly that the power of water and waves had a deeper symbolic weight to this movie with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, saying there's that idea of grief and intense emotion feeling like it comes in waves. Sometimes a wave can take you away where you lose control of it. You think you're in control, but the water can always remind you that you are not.
I mean, yeah, that's just such a beautiful sentiment because, like, that's the main thing that I think all of us are sort of gathering from both trailers, and sort of commented on it a little bit in the last trailer reaction, was that so much of this movie seems to be about grief and the unity that comes, the strength that comes from bonding together after grief. Because yes, there's pain that it gets unleashed from grief, but at the same time, there can be a beautiful, unexpected strength that comes from uniting together under the pain of grief as well.
Those waves of catharsis.
I think it's a really beautiful sentiment, and I feel like the trailers, the main thing they are really evoking is that pain with the slight glimmers of light at the end of the tunnel.
One brief shot shows Namor slamming down his spear, and if you look closely behind him on the right, there is someone in a Black Panther suit fighting him or protecting whoever Namor is trying to stab there. Based on the silhouette as this Black Panther jumps, that looks like the new female suit, but in the shot of the mask, maybe it's just a resolution.
Oh, there's no white dot stuff.
You can't really make out any of those signature dots on the mask. In fact, it also has pronounced silver eyebrows that don't really appear on the female mask at the end of the trailer. So this might be a completely different mask, contributing to my theory that we might actually see multiple Black Panther suits in this movie, maybe multiple female Black Panther suits.
Give it to Okoye.
Give it to Nakia too, and Ramonda.
You know, give it to them all. And M'Baku. Throw one at him as well.
Yeah, just your token one guy.
Just give him one suit.
That way people don't completely lose their minds.
I don't know. It could just be a lack of, they're still probably doing digital shit.
I was going to say, if they change that one shot, maybe they just need to change this other shot.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That'd be crazy. They sort of just snuck that in. That's kind of crazy they kept that in there when this is before the reveal shot in the trailer.
Yeah.
Whoa. I don't know. It's pretty intentional. They've had to have done that intentionally.
Yeah.
To give a little clue.
I feel like
probably another Black Panther.
It wouldn't be here by mistake.
Yeah.
Namor uses his ankle wings to dart upward at Wakandan aircraft that fire on him, zigzagging in a way that looks like he's hopping across platforms like an American Ninja Warrior in an obstacle course. M'Baku must be part of this defense. We see him jumping from the water down at Namor in the previous trailer, and in this trailer we see him thumping his chest like a badass. Looks like there will also be an aerial chase between Riri Williams and her new Ironheart suit and some other aircraft. I think she's going to build a Mark II armor in Shuri's lab in Wakanda because there's an overhead shot showing Riri working on that fragmented floor pattern that is unique to the lab. This Mark II armor has wing appendages that pop out the back and boot-mounted thrusters similar to Tony Stark's Mark 50 armor that he used to catch up to Spider-Man in Infinity War. We even see Riri in an Iron Man-style heads-up display close-up, her head suspended in darkness, surrounded by her glowing interface. The text around her face reads Max Power, and there's a radar showing her chasing someone, and I love the coloring of all this. Tony's helmet was often a pale blue and white color, but Riri's is a bright red. Atuma leaps out of a river up at Okoye on a bridge. Again, any body of water anywhere poses a threat from Tlālōcān. Nakia's suit shows an intricate pattern of green and blue. Green is the color of the Wakandan river tribe, but these blue pieces of her top are patterned to look like a central lake of Wakanda in a literal river that snakes through the green land of the country. This could represent Nakia being a river that links Wakanda to the ocean dwellers of Tlālōcān. There's a very Jaws
there is
from
a
the
lack of
depths
Nakia
shot
in the
looking
trailers.
up at this Wakandan vessel. Merch releases tell us that this is called the Royal Sea Leopard, and we know it's going to be the setting of a major maritime battle. The final shot of this trailer shows the new Black Panther dropping out of a hatch. Actually, this is the same hatch T'Challa dropped out of in the first act of the 2018 film, but now they drop into the snowy mountain region of the Jabari tribe. And as they land, purple energy courses up through the legs to show the shock absorption. Remember, this is the technology Shuri invented with her sneaker that she is seen wearing in promo posters for this film. This is also the same purple shockwave that Marvel has been ending in the letters of Marvel Studios in the opening fanfares of most of their recent titles, at least the ones ever since Chadwick Boseman passed. And the latest theatrical release added a specific shot to the opening montages showing T'Challa doing his handshake with his little sister. Could we read this as a passing of a torch? Now, this is the same suit that ended the July trailer with the gold trimming on the calves, the open panther mouths on the arms, like the hand weapons that Shuri was operating in the 2018 film, and now we can clearly see this is a slender female figure that truly does match the silhouette of Letitia Wright. That, plus the dots matching her face paint, does really make us think this is Shuri.
It's kind of crazy that the trailers would just sort of show that. Maybe they thought like people are already putting it together. There's already leaks coming out that it is. I didn't know for sure.
Well, and in a lot of ways,
likely.
Yeah, and it is also motivated by things directly in the previous movie. So in some ways, I can imagine them sitting around going, "It can't be that much of a surprise, can it?"
Yeah.
However, you may find the music staying familiar here. This is the same music Ryan Coogler has used for the Dora Milaje.
Oh, so it could be Okoye.
So that might be a clue pointing to this being a Okoye or some other Dora Milaje like an Eka. But I don't know, this music might also just refer to the women of Wakanda in general. Now, if you look closely behind this figure, there are a few Jabari tribesmen, but also a red cloaked Dora Milaje, who might be Okoye or Ao, it's kind of hard to tell. But as the camera pans up, you can see behind that red cloak is a teched up suited leg with similar
Oh, dang.
Oh, everyone getting teched up.
Panther core.
In this film, this movie could present a whole team of women who are all working together to try to carry the legacy of T'Challa. By the way, I'm still a fan of that theory that Shuri could synthetically reproduce the heart-shaped herb and then venture into the ancestral plane to resurrect Killmonger, who was buried at sea. I'm just still looking for evidence for it in this footage. I love this trailer so much. I cannot wait to break down this movie when it comes out in November. You can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at EAVoss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Fantastic work, Voss and editors and graphics people in every department here.
It's
Y'all did
incredibly
a great job putting the studio together.
Yeah, incredibly well researched.
Thank you so much. I learned so much from that. That was wild. That was wild stuff, man.
So many great details.
Guys, subscribe to New Rockstars. Follow EA Voss on Twitter. You can subscribe to us. But before we end this, I want to give a patron. Adelia Chamberlain. Adelia, look, right now, Schmodown has ended. And I know you had a real important, vital spot in helping to further the expansion of the Schmodown legacy. And you put together some wonderful articles, interviews, and you helped out with behind the scenes on certain things. So I'm sorry that time has passed. But I want you to know that your work is not overlooked, and that passion and enthusiasm can be carried on to other aspects of your life. So I would just redirect that emotion and find something else to convert that energy into. That way you can further expand your future into something even more beautiful and meaningful and make even more connections than you already did before. So thank you for all you've contributed. Thank you for being here for so long. Thank you for being just such a sweetheart of a human being. And I look forward to seeing what more you end up being a part of in the future. Love you, dear.